Welcome to our Premium Player Picks episode. In this episode, we will help you choose the best premium players for each position for your fantasy team. But before we move on to that part, let us first understand what a premium player in fantasy football means. These are one of the most expensive players in their positions. For example, David De Gea for 6 million in keepers and Mo Salah for 13 million amongst midfielders. They are usually the players that start and play all their games and tend to give maximum points. But due to budget limitations, all of these players cannot be picked in a single team. This is where our free advice pops up. We will help you decide which premium player should be given the most preference given their form, performance and upcoming fixtures. So let's take a look at our list for strikers. We start off with the most expensive striker in fantasy, Harry Kane. Priced at 12.5 million, the Spurs man has been super consistent in his last 4 seasons with an average of 210 points per season. As always, he had a dull start to the season, but is now picking up and is the joint top scorer among strikers with 5 goals. Despite the good form, he blanked against a Cardiff City side that has the worst defensive record in the Premier League at home. It has been observed that due to how high up the pitch Lucas Moura is playing for Spurs, almost like a second striker, Kane is not taking as many shots as he used to, and thus his point returns could be considerably hampered. The upcoming fixtures for Harry Kane aren't the easiest, and for his high price tag, it's best to stay away from the Spurs man as of now, and to invest your funds elsewhere. Moving on, we take a look at Sergio Aguero of Manchester City. The Argentine's 0.3 price rise is indicative of the form he is in since the beginning of the season. Aguero has been directly involved in 9 of City's 21 league goals this season, averaging returns every 64 minutes with 5 goals and 4 assists. With the rotation involved in this City side under Pep Guardiola and their fixture congestion, Aguero is never guaranteed maximum minutes. Despite this rotation and his poor luck with hitting the woodwork 3 times already, he is still the top scorer for strikers in the league. Aguero also boasts a league-high tally of 38 shots, so chances are plentiful for the City striker, especially with Kevin De Bruyne back in the midfield. City have a relatively tough run of games, but that should not bother the owners as you can always count on him to come up with the goods, no matter the opponent. Next up, we have Romelu Lukaku from Manchester United. United have had one of their worst starts to the Premier League ever, scoring only 13 goals while conceding 14, and Lukaku's start is no exception, which sees his price drop by 0.3 million already. He has scored 4 goals in the first 8 games, but do not let this stat deceive you of what the striker has to offer. He has blanked in 5 of those games and hasn't had a single assist. Lukaku's finishing has been dreadful too, having missed 4 big chances over this period already. It is also being speculated that Jose Mourinho might give Alexis Sanchez minutes up front with Lukaku being pushed out to the right wing or on the bench. All in all, it is safe to say that for now, it's best to stay away from the forward. The other 2 strikers in our list are the 2 Arsenal forwards, Alexander Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. First, let's take a look at Aubameyang. Since joining Arsenal in January last season, Aubameyang went on to score 10 goals and provide 4 assists in 13 games playing as a centre forward. Although unlike last season, he's playing at the left wing this time around. Also, he's not the preferred penalty taker for Arsenal anymore, after his penalty miss against Manchester City last season. He might not have started this season off very well, but he's slowly finding his touch, scoring 2 goals and 1 assist in his last game. Considering Arsenal's form and knowing Aubameyang's prolific goal-scoring abilities, if you already have him in the team, we suggest you keep faith in the striker. Our last player for this list is Aubameyang's strike partner Alexander Lacazette. Lacazette didn't start the first 3 games for Arsenal, but since then the Frenchman has been prolific in his returns to the club. Arsenal have won 9 games on the trot in all competitions, and Lacazette has provided returns in all the games that he has started in, with 4 goals and 4 assists in his last 6 Premier League games, averaging a return every 67 minutes, only second to Aguero. Lacazette is also the preferred penalty taker for Arsenal, which is always a bonus. The only question that remains is if he can maintain this good form throughout the course of the season, but as things are going, at 9.6 million, he looks like a bargain when compared to the other strikers.